Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Tom.
It's our Discovery Unit. We're going to be talking about a show about interior designers. These guys I've seen before. They're really talented. They're called Nate and Jeremiah. Those are their first names. And we're calling them the Dynamic Design Duo. So for the next 2 days, we're going to be talking about them, helping just regular people kind of fix up their homes, renovate them, make them look more beautiful. It's kind of one of those fun fix it up kind of shows that are on TV that are very popular right now. This one's called Nate and Jeremiah by Design.
That's what it's called, all right. So let's get to it, everybody. Let's read the entire contents of our lesson today, and we'll be right back.
Nate Burkus and Jeremiah Brent are the interior designers everyone wants on their home improvement team. Nate, who once worked on Oprah, has been designing spaces for celebrities and ordinary homeowners alike for the past 20 years. Jeremiah, Nate's husband, is an interior designer and host of the TV show Home Made Simple. Now, Nate and Jeremiah are teaming up for a new show, TLC's Nate and Jeremiah by Design. By combining their talents and years of expertise, Nate and Jeremiah are coming to the rescue of desperate homeowners in need of a helping hand. First up on Nate and Jeremiah's to-do list is the home of Brenda and Scott, the parents of 2 young boys. The family's house has been a construction zone for over a year. As most of their house is under renovation, they've been living without proper floors, walls, electrical wiring, and more, all in the hope of saving money. In addition to being extraordinarily dangerous for the children, the renovations are also costing Brenda and Scott an enormous amount of money. To make matters worse, neither of them can stick to the design plan. This indecision has meant that the renovations change frequently, costing them even more. This all changes when Nate and Jeremiah take control. After coming up with a design for the house that Brenda and Scott can agree on, Nate and Jeremiah force the couple to make decisions about the furniture for their renovated space. The designers want Brenda and Scott to come to terms with their indecisiveness. In doing so, the designers also hope that Brenda and Scott will feel like the new space is truly their own.
Okay, everybody, let's talk about the contents of today's lesson. The title is Nate and Jeremiah, the Dynamic Design Duo. This is in our Discovery Unit today. And I guess these 2 people, Nate and Jeremiah, are teaming up for a new show. And we're describing them as a dynamic design duo. A duo is when 2 people get together to work together, like the dynamic duo that was often used to describe Batman and Robin, the famous comic book characters. And I suppose they're using this term because most people have heard of that term. But in this particular case, it's a design duo, 2 people working together to create designs.
So we've got Nate Burkus and Jeremiah Brent. They are interior designers. You may have heard of that particular career or profession. Somebody goes into a home and, puts different colors together, picks out furniture, maybe some wallpaper, some curtains, what you're going to paint the wall, what color, those things. Those are interior designers. Here, interior is acting as an adjective, but it can also be a noun. If you walk into the interior of something, that's the inside of something. That's what that means. So everybody wants these guys on their home improvement team because they make things look better.
That's exactly right. So again, they are interior designers and everybody wants them to work on their home improvement. And again, we've got Nate Burkus here. He once worked on Oprah, the Oprah Winfrey Show. It's a famous talk show. And he has been designing spaces for celebrities and ordinary homeowners alike for the past 20 years. A celebrity, of course, is a famous person, usually in entertainment, in movies or in music or something like that, maybe an actor or actress, and they're famous people. And then we've got ordinary homeowners. That's just a person who owns a home, an ordinary person. person just like you and me. And at the end of this, we have alike here. If you use the word alike at the end of two items, then you're saying basically both. He's been designing these spaces for both celebrities and ordinary homeowners, or you could say for celebrities and homeowners alike. And they've been doing this, or at least he's been doing this for the past 20 years.
Yeah, he's already pretty famous. I remember him on Oprah. She always had the best in the business working for her, chefs, interior designers. Now, we've also got Nate's husband, and he's an interior designer and host of the TV show Home Made Simple. That was his program. But now Nate is joining Jeremiah. They're working together, and so we're using that phrase to team up. If you team up with someone, you cooperate together, you work together, you're a team. So they're teaming up for their new show, and it's on TLC, as we mentioned, and it's Nate and Jeremiah by Design. That's the title.
That is the title. And again, they are teaming up, which means they're getting together to produce this program. And by combining their talents and years of expertise, Nate and Jeremiah are coming to the rescue of desperate homeowners in need of a helping hand. So they've got these years of expertise. Expertise just means you've got expert skill or knowledge in a particular field. You could have technical expertise or expertise in automotive repair or expertise in plumbing, etc. You know a lot about pipes and fixtures and things like that, but they've got expertise in terms of designing, interior designing and stuff like that. So they're combining their talents, they're teaming up, they're working together, and they're coming to the rescue of these desperate homeowners. If you're desperate, that means you're at the end of your rope. You are in a helpless or hopeless situation and you really need something to change, or you're going to be in big trouble. So these homeowners, I guess, have some problems with their homes that they need to rectify, that they need to fix, and they're desperate. So these two people are coming to their rescue to help them out, and they're going to give them a helping hand, or these people are in need of a helping hand, which means they're just basically in need of help, or they just need someone to help them.
Yeah, they sound like they're looking for people who are trying to get along without an interior designer to help them, but sometimes people just need some help. And if you're not good at designing, and not everybody is, let's face it, you might want to find somebody you trust, that you like their taste in home decoration, and get them to help you out. So they are going to be helping some desperate home owners. We're going to talk about a couple of them over the couple of days here. The first homeowners that we're going to talk about are Brenda and Scott. They've got two young boys, but when I read about their home, I thought, what a nightmare. We're saying that they're first up on Nate and Jeremiah's to-do list. First up means they're at the top of the order of whatever you're doing. You could also just say first on Nate and Jeremiah's to-do list, but they're first up. They're the first in the order of several people that we're going to be looking at. I know we've got at least one more family we're going to check out in tomorrow's lesson, but this to-do list is just the list of people that they're going to be helping out. I'm sure their producers go out and find homeowners looking for some interior design help, and this is a couple that they found.
To-do list is basically a list of things that you need to do, and one of the items on their to-do list is the home of Brenda and Scott. And who are these two people? Well, they are the parents of two young boys, and the family's house has been a construction zone for over a year. Usually a construction zone is an area where they are doing some kind of construction, a construction zone. You see
especially road construction, right?
Right, or it could be a new building or something like that. There have been numerous construction zones in my neighborhood for the past year or two. They've been building new apartment complexes, and they've been paving the roads and things like that. So those are construction zones. Construction is just the process of building something, whether it be a road or a building or whatever. And a zone is a certain kind of area. But I don't think this family's house is actually in a construction zone. It itself is a construction zone. Basically, it's just saying that this house has been kind of not finished for a long time, and they're still working on it, and I guess that's why they're desperate. They need someone to come over there and help them out and help them get it finished.
Yeah, they're kind of exaggerating here because it's funny. They look like they shouldn't even be living in this house. It's such a mess. So it's been under construction for a while. And if you look at the description of what their house looks like right now, you can imagine that would be hard to live in if you were a family. They have kids too. So as most of their house is under renovation, they've been living without proper walls, floors, electrical wiring. It's just a mess. So it's kind of torn apart and they haven't put it back together yet. But they've been living in this construction zone because they're trying to save money instead of moving out while someone fixes their house and renovates it. They've stayed inside while all this work is going on and it's a mess. When you talk about renovation, guys, that's a noun form of the verb to renovate, which means to make something new again, to make it look better. We often renovate an old house. Maybe you've been living in a house for 30 years and you want to renovate. You want to make it look like it was just built last year. It looks a little bit more modern. Fix it up, maybe put some new appliances, furniture in there so you look great. But these poor folks don't even have proper walls. Proper means real, authentic, something that is supposed to be there, genuine. So they don't have walls. They probably knocked down some walls while they were renovating. So it's kind of a mess. The floors aren't finished. Maybe the wood floor has been pulled up or they're trying to put new carpeting in. They haven't done it yet. Their electrical wiring, which is very dangerous for kids, you can be electrocuted, is actually still not finished. So it's kind of a mess. And I would say it probably looks like a war zone, not a construction zone.
Right. So they don't have proper floors. I don't know how they walk around the house, but again, they don't have proper walls. So they maybe don't have protection from the outside.
Yeah.
And the electrical wiring is all screwed up. So maybe they can't even watch TV or play with their computers or whatever. But all of this is because they're just trying to save money. I guess they wanted to do it themselves. And in addition to being extraordinarily dangerous for the children, the renovations are also costing Brenda and Scott an enormous amount of money. So it's extraordinarily dangerous. It's extremely dangerous for the children to not have proper floors and to not have proper walls and for the electricity to not be working properly. So yes, it could be dangerous for these kids, and also they need to be spending all this money. It's costing them an enormous amount of money. Enormous just means a very large quantity of something.
That's true. Before we move on, guys, we're going to take a short break, listen to our Chinese teacher, and then we'll be back to talk more about Brenda and Scott's house.
Hi everyone, my name is Jenny. 今天我们看的是第7单元。今天这个单元的内容呢，事实上是要介绍一个电视节目，主角是2位设计师。这2位设计师也许你们没有听过，不过他提到这2位设计师的时候说呢，他们是 The Dynamic Design Duo。 好，这个标题其实很有趣，因为你注意到了吗？ D 都是用 D 开头的。当然字面上看起来这是表示这2位是2人小组，这个设计的2人小组，他们2个真的是像空间魔法师一样，可以让你的环境焕然一新。那我们看到 D， 其实这在文学上来说，它也是一种技巧，它其实就是一种押头韵的做法 alliteration。 所以我们有时候下标题或是让你的文字看起来或念起来有一种韵味，这是一个技巧可以使用的。那再来我们就要谈到这个主角，这2位其实当然都不是泛泛之辈，有一位像 Nate， 他其实之前在 Oprah 这个节目里面就工作过了，而另外一位呢，他则是一个很有名的室内设计师，他也是这个电视节目 Homemade Simple 的主持人。而2位呢，他们已经结婚了哦。现在有一个新的节目是TLC 旅游频道上的 Nate and Jeremiah by Design， 我们就要来看一下这节目内容有没有什么有趣的。好，这边其实就要谈他们在节目里面所处理的2个案例。那今天呢，要先谈第一个案例。好，第一个案例，他这边的句子在第2段里面说到 First up on Nate and Jeremiah's to-do list is blah blah blah。 好，我们看到这个句构啊，当然 first up 它本来的意思就是第一件首先要做的第一样事情，但是仔细看这个其实不是一个名词片语哦。 First up on Nate and Jeremiah's to-do list， 这个部分其实应该说起来，本来应该放在后面的补语位置上。它真正这句的主词是 be 动词 is， 后面这一串才是它的主词，因为它才是名词。你看到的名词的部分 The home of Brenda and Scott。好，当然这个后面的主词你把它摆到这个位置来，而把补语的位置摆到句首，这表示这是一个倒装句。当然这样子的写法就会让你的讯息焦点放到后面，也就是你要知道第一个事情，第一件任务是什么吗？就是这个。原来这一对夫妻，他们呢有2个小孩子，而这个家里呢一直是在一个好像一个建筑工地的状况，所以他说 is under renovation， 一直好像因为他们是在里面做一些装修的工作，一直在装修的状态中。那为什么会这样呢？当然事出有因，因为他们2位其实这对夫妻总是优柔寡断，没办法决定事情。那他在这边有提到 In addition to being extraordinarily dangerous for the children。 好，当然谈到他们没办法决定事情，然后呢一直整修的工作好像做不完，所以一直在做整修的工作，这样对小孩子其实是非常危险的。In addition to， 我们注意到它是一个介系词片语它后面一定要加名词或者是 VING， 所以这也就是为什么 to 后面的 BEING 这里要特别留意。对小孩子这样真的是很危险，而且钱也相对的要花很多。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. We're talking about TLC's new program called Nate and Jeremiah by Design. When we last left you, we were just being introduced to Brenda and Scott, their parents of 2 young boys, and they are renovating their house, but right now it's kind of a mess. Their house looks like a construction zone, and it's been that way for over a year. I remember when we redid our kitchen in my family's house, and that was hard to live with because we couldn't cook in there. We had no refrigerator for a while. It was kind of a mess, but everybody just kind of, stuck together, and we made it through a couple of months like that. But it's hard to live in a house that's being renovated or remodeled at the same time.
Exactly. So again, we've got Brenda and Scott here. They've got some problems here. Again, their house is under renovation. It's kind of like a construction zone. They don't have proper floors and walls. The electrical wiring is not quite completed. So they need some help. It's costing them an enormous amount of money. And to make matters worse, or even worse, neither of them can stick to the design plan. This indecision has meant that the renovations change frequently, costing them even more. So this sounds kind of similar here. This is Brenda and Scott, husband and wife, and they probably each have their own ideas about what they want for the house. And so neither of them can stick to the design plan. They had a plan at the very beginning, but they can't stick to it. If you stick to something, that means you maintain something. You do not change. Stick to the focus. Stick to the idea. Don't change it, but they keep changing the design plan, and that means they have this indecision, which means they're kind of 犹豫不决. They just don't know what they're supposed to do. They can't make the decisions, and they're probably having arguments about this all the time. Well, that's not what I said at the beginning.
Totally.
Weren't you listening to me when I said that? Well, yeah, but you didn't quite know what you wanted. Blah, blah, blah. They're just probably having arguments all the time, so they need someone to come in from the outside and help them out, and their renovations change frequently. Frequently here just means often, and because of those changes, they have to pay even more money.
Yeah, so it's pretty important if you're doing renovations that you stick with or stick by. You could also use to a design plan. Don't keep changing it. The more you change it, the more time it's going to take, and it's going to cost you a lot more. But that's what they did. They were very indecisive. Indecisive is the adjective form of this word indecision, which is a noun. So they haven't really had a lot of success, so it's a good thing that Nate and Jeremiah are sweeping in and coming to their rescue like superheroes. So in the final paragraph here, it says all this will change when Nate and Jeremiah take control. If you hire an interior designer or a team of interior designers to help you, typically you will give them most of the control. You'll tell them what you want. You'll let them know your preferences, what you really like. Hopefully you've already seen kind of their style before you hire them, but you let them take control at that point. The interior designers are typically very good at working with a construction team too. They'll tell them what they need and what to do. Now, after coming up with a design for the house that Brenda and Scott can agree on, then Nate and Jeremiah, they force the couple to make decisions about the furniture for their renovated space. So they come in and they actually force the couple to sit down and come up with a new design for the house that they both are happy with so that they can move on from there. So if you come up with something, you think of it, you are creative and think of it in your mind. So they come up with a design for these two that they both are happy with, and that's when they force the couple to make some decisions.
Exactly. So again, they kind of force them to make some decisions. They kind of probably get between them and sort of smooth their feathers, help them work out their differences and make them be more decisive about their plans. And they want them to make some decisions about the furniture. Furniture just refers to the sofas and the chairs and the tables and stuff like that. And even though we can count those individual items, the tables, the chairs, and stuff like that, furniture still is a non-count noun, I suppose, because all those different items are different shapes and different sizes, so they are considered non-count.
Yeah, it's like equipment, guys. You can't put an S on it. So furniture includes everything. So they make some, or they force the couple to make some decisions about furniture. Maybe they take them to a showroom and they look at real pieces of furniture, or maybe they look at a book, a catalog, and pick out what they like. And they make the decisions about the furniture they want to put in their renovated space. Again, if you renovate something, you update it. It looks new. It looks like you just moved into a new house. It's kind of fun. Now, the designers want Brenda and Scott to come to terms with their indecisiveness. If you come to terms with something, you face it, you accept it, and you move on. Some people can't come to terms with things that happen in their lives. Maybe you've lost a boyfriend and you just can't come to terms with the fact that he's not coming back. And you keep waiting for him, but he's never coming back. If you come to terms with something, you accept it, and then you can move forward. So they have to come to terms with the fact that they are very indecisive. They can't make a decision, but that's something they have to do in order to complete their renovation.
They probably want the other person to make the decision, and when that other person makes the decision, then they can criticize that decision, and then they just go back and forth like that all the time. So, yes, indeed, they just want them to come to terms with their indecisiveness. You guys just are being too indecisive. You need to make up your minds. And in doing so, the designers also hope that Brenda and Scott will feel like the new space is truly their own. So again, that's kind of the main problem there. They're having this problem with indecision here, I guess, especially about the furniture, but they probably need to make some decisions about other matters as well. And the furniture, of course, will affect what the walls look like and the carpeting and all that kind of stuff. And again, this is a renovated space. They're just fixing it up. They're not rebuilding the place. They're renovating the place. They're making a complete change. So basically, they need to make some decisions on the furniture and other things like that and come to terms with that indecisiveness. And hopefully they can feel like the new space is actually their own and that these designers aren't making the decisions for them. I guess they're just trying to help them along with those decisions.
Yeah, they don't try to, decorate your house the way they think it would look best. They really do try to listen to the owners and try to match what they can do with kind of the taste of the owners. Some owners don't really have a lot of preferences, though. I've noticed that, too. In some of these shows, they just kind of want the interior designer just to do everything. But if you have an idea of colors you like, or maybe even style, like country style or very modern, there are lots of different kinds of interior design styles that you can look at. That's actually more helpful to the interior designers to go with that. It's kind of fun to watch this whole process. Do they pick out their furniture, at least the big pieces first, and then decide on the color scheme of the room, or do they do that in the reverse order? Everybody works a little differently, and I think even from homeowner to homeowner, you're going to find that the show isn't quite the same with each home that they tackle or attack. Everyone's a little different, and it sounds like this particular couple just has a really big problem with making a decision and sticking with it.
Right, and this is one particular case, one of their clients on their to-do list. This is the first item on their to-do list, the home of Brenda and Scott. So hopefully they can help them resolve those problems and move on to the next item on their to-do list. And I'm sure in our next lesson, we'll find out some other examples of people on their to-do list. So please join us again next time when we talk about that. But right now, before we say goodbye, we're going to hear from our Chinese teacher once again.
好，我们继续来看。那下面就说 to make matters worse， 这个其实是一个不定词片语哦。那字面上翻译就是更糟糕，让情况更糟糕的是。那我们常常有一些不定词片语都是这样子的，你呢把它拿来当作是一个 transitional phrase， 也就是一个转折语。那这样子的转折语呢，可以做一个上下的承接工作。像这个地方就是 to make matters worse，让情况更糟糕的事。不过还没有别的呢，当然常听到的，比如 to tell the truth，to be frank， 或者是你说 to make a long story short， 长话短说，等等，这些都是实用的不定词片语当转折词。那为什么让事情更糟？下面就说 neither of them can stick to the design plan. Neither 在这个地方它是代名词，因为指的就是他们两个人都没有办法坚守他们自己原来的设计计划。OK， 下面这一段，那现在呢，当然两位设计达人来了，他们也就是 Nate and Jeremiah， 他们呢让这一切情况改观了。要设计出让两个夫妻都能够接受的，还有一点就是让两个，也就是 Brenda 跟 Scott 能够come to terms with their indecisiveness。注意到这个片语 come to terms with， 好，这个片语就表示说，接受面对什么事实，因为夫妻两个无法很快的解决事情，那现在这两位达人就是要让他们接受这个事实，然后把问题解决。OK， 好，我们今天的讲解就到这边结束，我们下次见。
That's it for day 1, guys. Day 2, we're going to focus on a different couple. Their names are Rochelle and Greg. And they've got different problems than our couple, Brenda and Scott. So stay tuned. It's kind of fun to watch different people go through this process. I love interior design shows myself. So if you're interested, tune in to TLC. Right now, we got to wrap up. Thanks for joining us. For English Digest, I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Tom.
See ya.
Goodbye.